The newest county of Quormia, lying to the far north, taking in the ruins of Tilverton, governed by the castle of Griffin Keep, extending through the Stonelands to the west, along the Moonsea Ride to the east, bordered by peril and infested with orcs and bandits right to its very heart. We find ourselves in the Stonelands today, having travelled north from Mount Rosrona, a inactive volcano filled with iron that is not far away from the castle from which we govern. And we've discovered a few days ago a giant chariot. This chariot is too large to be pulled by a horse or even two horses. Indeed, it looks like it's suitable to be harnessed to massive beast-like elephants. A single orc is working on this project. He seems to be a mechanic of some sort. He has a collection of tools lying around. Not very neat. Some are just rusting on the ground, and others are arranged poorly on a table. But the guy seems to know what he's doing as he attaches the second final wheel to this massive chariot, beating it with a massive mallet, and examining it, giving it a spin, beating it again, oiling it up, and it's a combination between raw force and mechanical precision as he constructs this tremendous weapon of war. There is a lot of junk to the south, piles of wire and discarded steel, broken timbers. It looks like he might have smashed a bunch of these wheels in his attempts to put them on. They haven't all been successful. There is a huge statue that stands on a cliff. This whole place is like a gorge, and therefore these sides vary between 10 and 40 feet high. But on one of the highest points, like a colossus built into the mountain itself, stands a very tall but crumbling statue. And this statue seems to... it doesn't represent any god that we've been able to identify that I can recall. But it does look like it has some sort of religious and certainly historical significance. It's a huge, tall man, 100 feet tall, if you include the column of stone that he rests on. And this huge column has a big shield over his belly that's perfectly circular. And it has various sigils on the outer rim of this circle. Anyway, the huge statue just stands silent. But what's not silent is the orc. He's working heavily and working hard. And another person who's not silent is our own Krusk. Are you announcing yourself, or are you simply walking down this alley? What's your approach?
Oh no. Kursk is announcing himself. What?
Who are you?
Just a passerby. What? Interested in your little workshop? What? And I continue to approach.
Wait, you look like a half-breed.
I am half-orc. What?
You talk funny. I don't think you're a real orc at all.
Just kind of look at my skin and point at my tusks, my very, very small tusks. Very, very small canines.
The lion, the mountain lion at the end, is perched atop a 20-foot ridge over a cave that leads, a huge cave. You can march 3 elephants abreast into this cave. It leads somewhere deep into the earth. This lion jumps down, big saber-toothed beast, and it trots up beside its master and gives a low growl. What you want then?
We just saw your chariot, and we were interested and curious. What?
Oh, it's we, is it? Then where's the rest of your friends? No, don't tell me. They're pink skins, ain't they?
Pink skins? What?
Aye, pink skins! Like the soft ones down on the road, the humans and dwarves and them.
Oh, humans. What?
Yeah, humans, what? Say, I can smell the human from here and you. You might look like you've got your little tusks there, and you might look like there's a bit of sallow in your skin, but you don't look like no walk to me, and you don't sound like one neither. Well, I think you're a traitor.
I said when I walked up here, I was a half-orc. What?
Well,
there's no duplicity going on here. What?
I don't even know what that word means, but I'm not happy with you, because I don't think that you're a good sort. I reckon you're traitor to our... More pink than green, I think.
You see any pink on me? What?
Yeah. Oh, maybe if I cut you open, then I'll see the pink then.
Well, if I cut you open, I'd probably see the pink on you too. What?
Oh, you're gonna cut me open, are you? He says, and
Well, you said it first. What?
Oh, well, he grabs this huge wrench, and lifting the spanner above his head, he says, well, why don't you all show yourselves then? You've come to rob me blind, no doubt.
Well, there's not much to rob. What?
Oh, but you want me land, don't you? Humans always coming and taking the land. Them and all the other pink skins. They want everything for themselves, they do. Even places like the Stonelands. Oh, we got a king, they say. We got a king. That makes this place ours by right. Yeah, well, tell you what. We got a king too. So let me ask you, pink skin. Whose king are you on? Are you with the pinkies? Or are you with...
I'm with no king. What?
Then what are you here for?
I was curious. What? I saw the chariot, and I thought it might be something interesting. What?
Make a persuasion. Yeah, you can, Conrad. You can make a stealth roll. Yeah, alright. You want to see the chariot? She's a beauty, ain't she? Come on, come over. I'll give you a look. Have a bit of a squeeze, mate.
All right. What?
But I just want you to know that curiosity gets you killed by the cat.
No, the saying is curiosity killed the cat. What?
Yeah, I know what the saying is, mate. I was trying to intimidate you. Come on, come and have a look. She's a beauty, ain't she?
Oh, yes. She's rather large. What?
Oh, yeah. I'm gonna get a mammoth to pull her. Yeah. And we're gonna march on that castle over near the Shadow City, the ruined Shadow City. And we're gonna smash down the walls of the castle with our chariot. What? Eh?
Yes,
yeah?
What?
Yeah, what? Hey!
Is it? He starts pointing at the wheel, and he like shakes it, and then he's gonna like pull a pin out and let the wheel fall off. Or it's like, if he can, I don't know if the mechanics of a wheel.
Make it's either like a sleight of hand check is what you want. thieves' tools would also work.
Oh!
Bam. So, your understanding of mechanics is intuitive. You might not have ever been involved in any sort of engineering project before, but one look at the way an axle works, and you're like, okay, this is really good, but structurally, it's got this pretty significant weakness. If I were to take this pin out, yep, that's what I thought would happen. What have you done? You've ruined it! I'm gonna kill you!
Well, no need to get mad. What? It's a real simple fix. Look, watch, and I'll start lifting it back up.
Oh yeah, right. Well, you're pretty good at this. Yeah, you're pretty good at this. So what do you? It looks like what do you think? You reckon it's gonna do the trick? I reckon we could fit eight fellas in here, give them each like a bow, and it'll be like a roving war platform. Yeah.
It's very interesting, but there's and I show him where I pulled the pin out and I let the wheel fall again.
You broke it again!
But it's not broken, it's just a structural integrity problem. I mean, if you're going to fit 8 orcs up onto this thing, I don't think this little pin's going to hold all that.
Yeah, right. That's a good point. Well, what? I don't know. Well, I know. What do you? That's what the manual told me to do. I couldn't read it, but that's what the picture showed me.
Well, here, show me the manual. I think you may have gotten a little large. Your eyes might have gotten a little larger than your stomach. It may not be meant for this size exactly. What?
Show me the manual, he says. Show me the manual. Oh, that's what you've come for, isn't it? You come for the manual. That's what you're here for all along. I've seen through you now, Pinky.
Are you really looking a gift horse in the mouth? What? I'm helping you. What?
You'd need a gift elephant to pull this thing, mate. Your gift horse ain't going to do the trick. You got me confused now. I don't even know what you're talking about. What?
Listen, what?
What?
That's my line. What?
What? No! No! What? What? Who?
What?
And then, some of the rocks start falling from the edge. Hey, what? Who's there?
As soon as he turns around, I take my glaive out and I strike him in the back.
Alright. Roll for initiative. Hey, what? He says as you pull out the glaive.
Oh, I did it when he turned around. Would that not be a surprise round?
You can make
It's a glaive. It's
pretty big.
It's not a... Yeah.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. And the lion would see anyway.
Of fucking course.
Okay, so while he doesn't initially notice, the lion roars and it's it jumps into action immediately. It leaps towards Kursk and pounces on him as it does. Rawr! Bounding straight over the chariot and tumbling on him from above. All right.
Oh, Jane goes first.
Oh, does Jane go first? Right.
Where am I?
You gotta put yourself down.
Right.
You might want to be up here with the rest of them, but if you do, you'll need a stealth roll to get there. Otherwise, you can...
Braxton's still down here.
Yeah, so that's fine. So you can be back with Braxton if you want, without the stealth roll. Probably the best place. To have gotten as close as these guys did, you would have needed a stealth. Alright.
So you gotta roll it again to put it on the turn order.
There we go.
It's
the same result, so we'll accept that. Cool.
Okay.
Alright, Jane. So you see the lion come bounding towards Kursk, leaping over the chariot. What do you do?
I peer I peer out and look at this line. Do you see that? She looks toward toward Braxton, and we should. I think she's gonna move 30 feet. And God damn it! I'll check the range on the spell real quick. I still can't really see what's going on. Can I see like what's going on here? It's pretty far away.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's pretty far away. There's a table and mess and stuff in the way. So, not exactly, but you can hear them. There's lions roaring and an orc being angry. So
you hear a lot of what.
Hear a lot of what's. So you might be wondering what's going on, but you've got some idea.
I see this lion who was perched up. We saw that he was perched up there before.
Correct.
He's down now, so I'm just gonna assume the word, and I'm gonna fire off a fire.
All right, then
okay.
The lion is moving too fast and bounding too high, and so the firebolt fires over it, and it doesn't even distract it or disturb it from from the momentum as it leaps onto the chariot, runs along its edge, and then bounds down upon its target below. Okay, so claw attack. All right, so the claw hits. Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh shit.
I know, right? I now make a strength saving throw, assuming that you're still conscious.
Yeah, I'm still conscious.
That is unfortunate.
Certainly was. So you're now wrestling with a cave lion. This great saber-toothed tiger has leapt up onto the chariot, leapt down on you. The thing weighs like 800 pounds, right? It's huge. Each of its saber teeth are as big as a short sword. And as it crunches down into you, and just it's really the force of its weight as much as it is the sharpness of its claws that crashes into you, and you're now wrestling with a lion that must be 4 times your mass.
But I'm not grappled or anything.
You are not. It pounced on you and tries to knock you to the. If you fail, you get knocked prone.
So, with the stealth checks for this first round, are we hidden, me and Vicious?
Absolutely. The only one who's not is Jane, because she launched her assault.
So, I'm thinking this rock that's fallen down that he's heard and caused him to turn around, Conrad was starting to get a bit bored because, Kursk is spending so much time down there talking to this orc.
Can we just kill something already?
Yeah. He's knocked his arrow before kicking a rock off the side of the hill, waiting for it to skitter down before taking a shot at the orc.
Excellent. It's looking in your direction, but it's looking 40 feet too low.
15 points of damage.
Oh, you reduce him to 0 hit points.
Straight through the eye socket.
He yells. You don't kill him. But you've hit him in the eye, and he's just rolling on the ground in intense agony. He's taken out of the fight because he's just not surprisingly obsessed with the fact that he's got an arrow in his eye. And the guy's rolling around on the ground, effectively incapacitated, but also still alive, and screaming. Vicious.
Fuck. Me and Vicious lit off of pretty fucking nasty volley there.
Alright. Oh, shit. Ow. Yeah, that's... So, it's the perfect shot. What is the perfect shot? Yeah, no worries. Bam, and so like the arrow becomes lodged in its head, and yeah, the lion, I think it was a lioness by recollection. But anyway, the lion is no, it wasn't. Lion. Doesn't matter. Its mane is now turning a crimson red as the blood sprays all around it, giving it this kind of fountain of crimson, trimming it. It looks pretty cool. Unless you happen to be a dying lion, in which case it doesn't.
It's very pretty to a dying Kursk.
Yes, it's art. This is art. I don't know what this is, but I know I like it. What? Braxton Woad.
All right. Well, he'll step up next to Jane, and I don't think I can see anything from here.
Not sure. The rubbish doesn't obscure your vision. But it will provide cover if you're beside it. It's like between 3, 4, 5 feet high, or just a midden pile of junk. So you're able to see. Yeah.
Is this like a slope up that we're on?
No, not really. No. It's the where it says 0 feet, which is all where you guys are on. Is you're in the lowlands here. This rise here is about 10 feet higher. This part 20 feet higher. This part 40 feet higher. But yeah, where you're on at the moment is the lowland, the bottom of the gorge.
All right. Well, I guess I will take a shot at the cat then.
It's still wrestling with Kursk, but it gets distracted by the arrow in its head. What fails in your instance? How do you see in Braxton's inexperience? Oh, he's a good bowman, but what's the rookie mistake that he makes?
Probably waiting too long for a shot since they're struggling in like right next to each other.
Yeah.
So he's too cautious, and it just goes way wide because he doesn't want to risk hitting Kursk.
And by the time the arrow gets there as well, traveling 90 feet, it takes a second and a half before it even reaches him, and the battle's already shifted. But ultimately, it was your sense of mercy, not wanting to kill your friend. Kursk, your life is fading away.
What?
A single arrow rarely killed a lion this big, and how can you survive this?
I guess I got my glaive around just in time for him to pounce on me, and now I'm like struggling with him. Like his front two paws are up against the pole arm as I'm holding it up. So using his weight against him, I'm going to shift my handle towards the top near the blade and let him slide off, and then I'm going to bring my blade down on the back of his neck as he's falling off the chariot.
Nice. Oh, it works. It works perfectly. The lion.
Fuck me! What?
the momentum of the blow catches it on the back of the neck, and the lion is angry and aggravated, but it flies into a death frenzy. It has no reason to live. Jane, you can see that this creature is going berserk.
As my bonus section, I was going to second one.
Good idea. So, how do you see your second wind in this instance? Where's the will to live come from?
I guess after landing that big blow, there's even that split second before I realized that it's still in the fight, I had this deep breath. Okay, it's not as bad as it looks. What?
It is not. Particularly not when Jane is coming to your side like the cavalry.
30 feet. I'm blasting. Where did my sheep?
This time the firebolt struck true. But it's just a minor scorch on such a tremendous beast. And the cave lion is not even distracted as it enters its frenzy, trying to maul its target to death. And it breaks its fang. It goes to bite Kursk, but how does it break its fang, Kursk?
Again, I just catch it with my the haft of my glaive, and its force coming at me, and I get it like right on the top of the teeth, like the top teeth, and it just like knocks it off into the back of its.
Beautiful. All right. Terrible news for our friend the cave lion, our hero. The cave lion is now in tremendous danger. Conrad.
Oh, shoot it.
Yes,
Really shooting it.
Ouch.
So 11 plus 11, 22.
It's death. You really cleaned up that 52 hit point little cave lion pretty quick. So how does it die? With a perfect shot.
Through the throat. It's kind of angling towards Kursk, and Conrad just puts an arrow straight through the center of its throat.
And it only stops when the arrow hits the saber tooth. Currently, it's stuck in its esophagus. Wow.
That happened.
I got both of them.
I just let it slide off of my pole arm. Fuck, what?
What? Says the orc. He's still got this arrow in his eye. Ah, kill me! Kill me!
Nah, what?
The orc continues to beg for death, but he does so in the orcish tongue, so those of you who can't understand it, just hear him go...
I go up to the orc and say, in orcish, your people usually have more fight in them. Where's your warrior pride?
You have defeated me! You have humiliated me!
I look to the others and say, so what do y'all want to do with him? Pointing my crossbow right at his head.
Take the other eye as well.
He will be doubly beloved by Grumsh.
Yes! Yes, you are right! He says, and he rips out his eye. I am beloved by Grumsh!
That was out of character, but...
I have been blessed!
Because I can't understand him at the moment.
You ripped the one out that had an arrow in it, or the other one?
The one that had the arrow.
The one that had the arrow, yeah.
But as soon as he starts proclaiming that he's chosen by Grumsh, I'll take my glaive and I'll cut his head off.
Alright. He is a dead orc.
I've none of that, but what?
Do you have a problem with Grumsh?
Do you not?
Do you ever have moments of deep self-loathing? What?
Oh, I'm not saying I don't have a problem with grumps myself. I'm just saying, if Curse being a half orc, I just figured you'd have some kind of respect for him.
Nah, but what?
I forgot to mention, and it can kind of be seen and kind of is a little bit difficult. I forgot to mention the giant ballistae, which is mounted on the rear of this chariot.
Ooh,
That is a good thing to mention.
I know,
Yeah.
right? But if you look, you can see it. If you look,
yeah.
it's
Okay,
there.
yeah.
But it just doesn't. But yeah, I also didn't see it myself because you kind of got to look to see it. Yeah. So yeah, there's a giant ballistae mounted on top of this elephant chariot. This weapon of war it's magnificent. Yes, it has structural weaknesses, but what war machine doesn't?
He said something about a manual. What? I'll look on his person. I'll look on his person and see if he has it on his person.
No worries. He doesn't have it on his person, but he does have a pair of spectacles on his person. So all in all, you find carpenter's tools, cartwright tools, smith tools, hundreds of pounds of timber and hundreds of pounds of scrap metal, some block and tackle, a copper circlet that he's wearing, much like the other golden crown orcs that you killed, and a pair of spectacles. They look like they're of gnomish design at a glance. They're wire, glass, gold frames. They're really delicate. They don't look like something an orc would wear.
He's a green-skinned cartwright. It feels like we had to put him down.
Oh. I'll be right back.
No worries.
What can I see inside, or as far as I can see, because with my human eyes into this cave?
Yeah, make a perception check.
And I am staying up on the hill for now with the arrow knocked kind of towards the mouth of the cave, half expecting more orcs to charge.
It's quiet in there, really quiet. You hear the screech of bats, but they're trying to sleep. They don't want anything to do with you. There are a couple of glowworms in there, but glowworms have no intellect to speak of, and so they're just making silk. And you can only see for 30 feet. You can't really tell. But if someone else were to come in, or even if you listened, you might be able to hear a distant blow of wind that would indicate that this tunnel is deep. Is it as deep as the Underdark? We don't know, but it's deep. This isn't a cave. This is a cavern.
And do we see the giant golden fucking, what the fuck is it called?
We're not sure.
The whole reason why we came here, the giant I feel stupid.
Chariot?
Yeah, chariot.
Yeah, it's right here. It's like a chariot with a ballistae.
Oh,
it's right here
is
with
the chariot. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. That's this. Yeah. So yeah, there's carpenter's tool, cartwright tools, smith tools, timber, lumber, block and tackle, these spectacle, these copper circlet. There's no manual.
There's no manual. What do you gentlemen want to do, and lady? You guys want to go into the cave and see if we can find anything else?
We should look around while we're here.
So are you looking around, Jane?
I'm certainly not going first, but if Vicious is going in, I'll follow up behind him.
Yeah. You know what? Braxton is gonna inspect this chariot. Does it look like it'll actually move?
Yeah, good call. History is the only skill I can think of that is appropriate, because 5th edition doesn't have an engineering skill. If you can think of something else like thieves' tools or cartwright tools, if you have another skill not history, go ahead. But history is as good as I can think of.
Investigation?
Yeah, investigation. Perfect, yeah.
It'll be the same total, but
yeah, different
just
perspective.
seems more appropriate.
Yeah, I'm glad you came up with it. So you don't understand mechanics, unfortunately. You know when an ox pulls a plow, they don't even normally use wheels. You just have a plow, but it seems functional to you as far as you can tell. But it's just on such a massive scale that it really seems impractical.
Give me a light chain, and I hold out my sword.
You guys have advantage on your investigation roll since you've specified where you're looking.
Jane will hold out her hand at that and project probably a white light on.
Man, you piss the bats off. Hey, they are not happy. They screech at you in upset, like trying to get some sleep here. Come on. Oh well, humans so inconsiderate.
So I'll look around with him. Oh, well, sorry.
The bats get in your face, Jane, and like their wings go, their leathering wings are all over you.
Terrified.
This must be what it was like in Ravenloft, right?
Every day was a hard life.
What about you, Bishop? Investigation, you got advantage. Nothing in here. You might be put off by the distant sounds of dripping water and the soft blow of wind that comes from deep within the Underdark. The only thing that you end up finding is a big pile of dirt, like a small mound that's about 5 feet wide and about a foot high. That's all you find.
Does the cave go deeper?
Much deeper.
I turn back and say, you gents coming.
Yeah, I guess Braxton will come along.
Behind the mouth of the cave, does it go like up a steep hill or something, or?
Not really. It's more like a gorge. So yeah, disappears into the side of a gorge.
What are we investigating?
I want to have a look along the side here, and I'm going to kind of go up above the entrance and see if it looks like there's any other ways in.
Yeah, no worries. I guess make an investigation roll. What are we investigating, Kursk? We've gone into the mouth of the cave, and it seems that the cave disappears off, into a massive cavern system. But we haven't been able to find anything in the mouth of the cave except for a pile of dirt. The dirt's about 5 feet long and about maybe 9 inches, a foot tall. Just this big pile of dirt. You find no such entrances, Conrad. But being a gorge, like hidden entrances could be anywhere. Gorges are a literal nooks and crannies by their nature. Kursk, there's nothing, apart from this pile of dirt, 5 feet wide, foot high. There's not much in here, but it seems that the cave disappears off into eternity. You can only see 60 feet, but it goes way beyond that. It's sloping slowly down. It just doesn't just go straight flat. It goes at a slight downward angle, and then disappears into the dark.
Do we hazard a venture in? What?
Yeah, let's keep going. We might as well. We made it all the way up here, unless you guys want to turn back. Still missing manual somewhere that dead orc mentioned.
Precisely. What?
I don't see why we shouldn't.
Do any of you have a bit of healing on you to top me off? What?
I could give you a kiss on the forehead and heal you with love.
I don't think that works. What?
No,
I don't.
we don't have any magic.
Yeah, not
Yes.
with Balfour gone.
Or, if you want, I can control Balfour.
Sure. I'll give you authority.
Oh, yeah, my mossy, poo-poo hands, and here's some healing. Oh.
All right. So yeah, when you enter, as you enter the mouth of this cave, there's you all get the sense that it disappears off into the distance, slowly sloping downwards. But you don't find anything apart from a mound of upturned rock and dry dust and dirt. But yeah, the place disappears off into the distance. There's guano on the floor, bats in the stalagmites, a couple of glowworms. What are you gonna do?
I guess I'm
So,
coming to
I
the
don't
front
have
with
my
the light. I'm going to just continue forward, but slowly, just ever vigilant, waiting for something to pop out of the shadows.
All right. Apart from some bats and some small snakes, you get about 100 feet into the cave, and now the tunnel of light is only a pinprick behind you. You are now descending into the Underdark. The cavern system keeps going. It doesn't branch, at least. There's only one path to follow. Is that what you intend to do, to go spelunking?
What if it's the Underdark? What?
It seems to disappear, just, keep going. So, yeah, where does the Underdark begin? Where does it end? That's a matter of definition that any sage can make for themselves. But if you've travelled 100 feet into a cave and it looks like it keeps going, that sounds like the Underdark to me. That sounds like a pretty good definition.
There doesn't appear to be any kind of like bed, like little home station for the orc that was outside. He sleeps in this cave.
Yeah, not really. No, it doesn't. It seems that most of his living is done out in the open. There's like a mattress among the junk and blankets and among the junk. But here in the cave, nothing but a small but broad mound of dirt.
Yeah, I'm not going to blame him for not wanting to live in a entrance to the Underdark.
Can I do survival check for the any tracks on the ground?
Absolutely. So
Balfour's
Balfour,
spot on.
it's pretty good impersonation actually. Balfour discovers two pieces of information. First of all, orcs use this way relatively regularly. An entire tribe of, say, 10, 15, 20 orcs has come through here and back again within the past 10 days. But there's only one orc that uses the place regularly, and his boot size is the same as this mechanic's. The other thing that you discover is that the dirt has only been put there recently.
Balfour will explain this to the group, and then
I think we should leave. What?
Vicious will scratch his head. What about the rest of the group?
I'm curious what he buried.
Should we linger?
If you've got a shovel, what, then go at it. What?
There is a shovel.
Braxton shall start digging.
You don't have to dig very deep. It's only about 3 feet deep, and the pile's only a foot high to begin with. The rocky dirt has been recently overturned, so it's broken up quite easily, and 5 minutes of digging is more than enough. You discover a waterproof chest about 3 feet wide. There's a waterproof chest. That's all you can see at the moment. But as you try to remove it, it feels heavy. It feels like there's a fair bit of stuff in there. Not full, but a fair bit of stuff.
Yeah, he'll uncover it and then pull it out.
So this waterproof chest is of Cormyrian make. You're not able to tell exactly where it was manufactured, but the design is obvious, and yeah. So it's a Cormyrian chest. It's come from one of the markets down there. You're able to get it open. It's not locked, and inside the chest you discover hundreds of gold pieces. A closer inspection will reveal these are Tethiamaran gold. This was forged by the dwarves centuries ago. So 500 gold pieces. A dwarf skull that has a kind of a dwarf skull that has dwarf skin over the top, creating a drum. Like they've cut off the skull at around about the eyebrow and replaced it with skin to make a drum. Yeah, you get it?
Yeah.
Pretty cool, hey? Yeah, pretty cool. And finally, a book in a language that I'm almost certain that you can't understand, but you might be able to pick through a little bit. What languages do you have?
Elvish and Goblin.
That's good, because this is written in a language that is not common, and it's not Elven, but it's been inspired by both. It's some foreign tongue that you're not familiar with. But you might be able to pick through to get some sort of comprehension of what's going on. It would require, I guess, a history or an investigation roll, maybe.
Flipping through, though, can we just see that this looks to be what he was using to design his...
Definitely, it has images of engineering. There are, and just the pictures are incredible. There were windmills, and there are turn screws. There is strange machines that are being driven by some sort of perpetual energy all of their own. It looks like it's a cross between an alchemical tome and something purely for scholars. Yeah, you've never seen anything like it.
My, what? What about that very smart elf? What?
Lord Perrin will probably be able to figure out what this is.
We could probably get a good price out of it too, but what? Not with all the gold, but what?
You think the two words on the cover, there's a couple of words, 4 or 5 words, and you think 2 of them are weapons and items, equipment, gear, something like that.
You said either history or investigation to try and figure it out?
Yeah, that's right. Beautiful. You're able to translate it, even though you don't know the language. It's called the Arms and Equipment.
Amazing.
You bet there is. It looks like a tiny little crossbow, but it fires projectiles using a technology called what is that technology? Can't think of it for the moment. Firearms. Yeah, gunpowder.
I believe on the Sword Coast they call it smoke powder projectile weapon.
This doesn't refer to smoke powder. This refers to gunpowder, which is apparently a mixture of saltpeter and something else. This book didn't originate in the Forgotten Realms.
This. So as he's flipping through and like reading through it, this could be huge benefit
I say,
to our
what?
cause.
What is this language, though? What?
You said it's a combination of Common and Elvish?
Yeah, that's right, and it has publishing details, which are probably something you're not familiar with. You know, in the Forgotten Realms, they don't have publishing houses. They have individuals who write books. But a publishing house has printed this in a place called Lamordia.
Oh fuck!
Wow, that cave lion's that cave lion's still kicking.
Ah, fucking Billy called it earlier. That's from Ravenloft.
Oh, that's right. Didn't Dante bring back a gun?
No, he brought back a gun, not a book.
Yeah, but he brought back a gun, so they have the technology and.
Precisely. They have Renaissance era technology. You're good at this.
I love the marvelous invention thing.
Nope, this is a big enough find, I think. What? How much gold was in that chest?
500 gold pieces. They are Tethiomaran. Well done. They're Tethiomaran, and they for historians who give a shit, they represent the final era of Tethiomar. Maybe this isn't the right time to talk about Tethiomar in history, but what happened, right, was there was a beardless king, and the beardless king was doing a pretty good job of ruling, but she lost the support of crucial people like the patriarchs, the nobles, the priests, those sort of people, her own family. Anyway, they turned on her and they declared her unfit to rule because she didn't have a beard. And they replaced it with the priest kings, and they kind of had this, basically a pope. The priest of Moradin was also the king, and we have this is the king priest's head right here on these coins, and they were some of the last coins that were ever minted.
Oh yeah, I saw it in the compendium of the other game. Isn't it like Farrak's Folly or something?
Yeah, that's right, man. That's that Farrak. That's the king right here. King priest Farrak.
Nice.
So you were saying, yeah, yep.
The beardless king.
The beardless king. Truly a tragic story. Oh well. So we now have a chariot mounted with a ballistae. No real way of moving it, unfortunately. What do we do here?
Probably use my warhammer to destroy it.
Well, one question. Could Balfour pull it?
Ooh.
He does have wild shape, second level, CR.
And
He could
and
wild
he
shape
counts
into
as
an
a side
elephant.
larger.
No, he could wild shape into an elephant.
And you don't lose your I don't think you can wild shape into an elephant, but you don't lose your racial abilities when you wild shape. I don't believe. Do you? Or do you? Maybe you do.
I don't believe so. I think you lose your class abilities, but not your race abilities, unless I'm mistaken.
So he can turn into a large creature, and
then and then still use his natural ability to.
Never. Elephant CR4.
But he could turn into like a bear, which is a large creature.
Yeah,
And he pull stuff as if he was a huge creature.
So that's true. He doesn't lose his natural. He doesn't lose his racial ability.
I'm not sure about racials. I know you don't use class abilities and that stuff.
Racial abilities you keep because they've confirmed that a variant human with the mobile feat will still be effective.
So you'd always have dark vision then. You'd be the only wolf with dark vision if you were an elf, for example. All right. Good to know. Yeah, no worries. Yeah, Balfour is able to. Yeah.
That's a bit unsure because that's counted as senses, not a racial feature.
Good point. Yeah, it might be something different again. Yeah.
The only problem I see with this is getting it through the forest. What? Unless it's not that thick.
Yeah, not really. No, it's
Okay.
These are badlands more than anything, and so the territory is. Yeah, it's
so
pretty sparse.
How wild shape states? Let's see here.
Yeah.
You retain the benefit of any features from your class, race, or other source, and can use them if your new form is physically capable of doing so.
So yeah, there you go. So he's a bear with the pulling capacity of an elephant. You can ride in the chariot if you want.
I was going to load the cave lion onto the back of it.
Cool.
But it does specify you can't use any of your special senses, such as dark vision, unless your new form also has that.
Okay, cool. So it covers that. Definitely. That's good.
Yeah, senses do have that specific caveat.
All right. Cool.
But yeah, I was thinking we could take the cave lion back and sell its pelts and stuff like that. If it's still worth anything with all the blood.
Yeah, it will be.
We could just skin it instead of carting the entire thing back.
You want to take a short rest and do all? Or, well, we don't even have to take a short rest because we're traveling back.
Are we going to skin it? It'll take about an hour.
I mean, we might as well. I figure we'll load up what we can onto the back of the chariot of, like, this scrap wood and metal.
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't we just take the whole lion? I mean, meat, pelt, teeth for the witch market. They'll probably want, like, lion's teeth and stuff for the false alchemy.
Yeah, if we can take the whole thing, we might as well.
Okay, cool.
False alchemists still need to pay for ingredients. What?
So what can Balfour turn into to pull it?
You can turn into a bear.
Creature.
Yeah, any large creature.
Okay, I guess. I don't mind pulling it. And he turns into a bear.
Beautiful.
We need to book it though, because we only have 2 hours of that.
Alright. So, you're not able to make it all the way back to Griffin Hill in a single day, but you probably don't expect to be able to either. Although the distance isn't that far, the terrain is positively awful. And you're constantly going through gullies and dry riverbeds and past massive crumbling boulders that look like they could collapse at any moment. So you're having to spend a night out in the wild. You probably get about halfway back. I guess this is important. Do you camp on the east side of the mountain or the west side, the Stoneland side or the Moonsea Ride side?
I'd say the Moonsea because we know that orcs are all around the other side.
I would have said the Stonelands because we're in the Stonelands, heading to the Stonelands, and we don't want to be fighting Sembians.
But we also get the Sunbolt Trail leading to Griffin Hill if we go on the other side, which will be easier for the chariot.
Wouldn't we literally have to cross over the mountains to get to the Moonsea Ride side?
Is there a little gap in there?
Yeah, it's a rough pass. That's right. In either direction, it's pretty rough. It's rougher going east, but it's pretty rough going west as well.
What I mean, we'd have to pass through the mountains.
Yeah.
Go through terrain that is occupied by Sembian soldiers, and then pass back through the mountains. That would seem ridiculous. I figure we'd just stay in the Stonelands.
Yeah, I see your point.
Okay, is that a decision?
Stonelands it is.
Alright. You camp out for the night in the Stonelands, and it's bitterly cold. It doesn't reach freezing, which is fortunate, but it's still terrible. Particularly when the windy weather turns into a storm, and a storm rushes down, ironically from Anarok, from the desert, but it doesn't drop any rain on the desert. It passes straight over the Hunters Hills, and it passes straight over you as well before crashing into the storm horns and delivering its thunderous blow against those terribly high mountain peaks, dumping inches and inches of rain over the course of the night. But while you're not caught directly in the storm, you're spared the lightning. At least you're going to get drenched. Those of you who have some sort of mind for the outdoors, Balfour and Braxton, probably Kursk. What preparations do you make as you set up a camp for the night, and it's going to be an hour before it's truly dark, but the sky is already darkening, the wind is already blowing. You try to drive a tent peg into the ground, and the tent just blows away. What preparations are you going to make to stay safe during the night?
I suppose, I guess the best thing is, kind of just gather some, like large sticks and kind of, put it up against a, decent sized rock and to give us some shelter from the storm.
Cool.
What about the chariot? How big is the passenger, whatever it's called, when you stand on it? I don't know.
It's very big. You could fit 8 people in there standing up.
Okay, do you think we could like flip it over and put it up against a rock to give us a little bit of shelter?
Yep, sure.
Like unpin the wheels as easily as they come off and then flip it over.
Excellent.
Take the ballast off the back.
Yeah, so it'll slow you down a little bit in the morning, but it gives you the great shelter for the night. And so between that and the rigging that Vicious has put up, we keep relatively warm and safe. And in the morning, the storm has blown, and whoever has the morning shift sees out on the plains a massive herd of elephants. There must be 25 of them, and they're just walking through the early morning dawn light, eating the fresh shoots and ripping branches from the handful of trees that exist out here. They pay you no mind. They're, at most they get about a quarter of a mile away from you. Do you, I don't know, want to go and catch some elephants?
Belfair says, "Oh, some friends. Maybe I could ask one of them to help push the chariot."
One or two might help, yes. What?
And Belfair will slowly walk towards the elephant herd.
When you get within 300 feet of them, one of the largest of them begins flapping her ears really violently and trumpeting into the air.
And using the speech of the beast and leaf, Belfair will go, whoa, easy, I am a friend.
The elephant seems to be shocked, and they look at each other, and then they blare something to you with their trumpet.
He has...
Do you have...
what is it?
Speak with animals?
Yes, I will cast Speak with Animals.
As a ritual or as a spell?
Guess as a spell.
Might as well then. No worries. So you cast the you cast a spell, and she says, "Are you listening to me?"
Oh, please repeat what you were saying.
She looks at the other elephants, and the other elephants, "It can talk. I thought I heard it talk." But the lead elephant, this huge old matriarch, stumbles forward apprehensively, swinging her trunk threateningly. "I say, what are you doing here? And why are you approaching the herd?"
Oh, please, I mean you no harm. I was just wondering if you could help me and my friends push this cart to our home.
It sounds like a trick. I'm so fed up with orcs and ogres and their tricks. Always trying to lure a good elephant into a false sense of security. Well, we won't fall for it today.
No, it isn't a trick. And then I will cast Goodberry and hold out my hand. Please take one of these.
The matriarch seems suspicious. "Auntie, I will try the berry." And she lets the other elephant come up, a bit younger than her. "It's delicious." "It sounds like a trick," says the matriarch. You will trick us and capture our babies and enslave them for your lumber mines."
I promise you I mean no harm. I just wanted some help pushing a heavy cart. You are a strong beast, and I know we are no match for you. You could crush us easily.
You get a persuasion roll. You have advantage due to the spell, due to the ability.
And I roll an inspiration.
Go ahead.
Fucking Christ. Oh, I got advantage?
You got advantage.
Okay, cool.
I'm not so sure about this. But Auntie, these berries are delicious. May I try a berry? Says one of the elephants.
Yes, of course. And
Oh, I want to try a berry as well! And the elephants start pushing towards. It looks like Balfour is about to get trampled by overly enthusiastic elephants.
I will throw one to each of the elephants so they don't get too close and so Balfour doesn't get trampled.
Two-thirds of the elephants miss out by the time you've cast all your berries, and they're so upset. They want a berry as well.
Oh, well, if I gift you some berries, will you promise to help us push the cart?
We will agree on one provision. When all this is done, you must do something violent against these orcs and ogres. I don't know what. I hesitate to say. Oh, she means you must kill them. But that's not what well, if you must kill them.
Oh, well, we just killed an orc a second ago to actually get that card. But I can promise you we can do that for you.
I have heard that in other lands, good people like humans and elves make alliances with good beasts like elephants, and we all work together against monsters. Perhaps a similar alliance could be forged today.
Yes, I would. We could be friends.
But only if you give us more berries.
Yes, I promise. If you ask the other elephants that ate the berries, they will feel quite full already from just one.
Alright. The party has 23 elephants.
Jesus.
Look, guys.
Make way for Prince Ali.
I have some friends to help us.
Conrad's kind of staring like, whatever.
Vicious is gonna look like,
Whatever.
what the fuck?
Yeah, pretty much.
And
Jane's super excited.
I guess we'll tie some rope to a couple of them and start heading out.
Excellent. So, we return to Gloriana, to Griffin Hill, triumphant with our newfound allies, the elephant. Congratulations.
Belfair will cast Goodberry again and thank you, friends. Here, and give some more berries to the elephants.
Woo! They're very happy. The elephants are apprehensive, but and the poor horses are terrified. But so far things are going okay. Was there a quest to get elephants? I can't remember. I'm looking for
Yes,
it.
there
now.
There was.
Where is it?
It is. I think it's the Golden Crown one.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Kingdom of Golden Crown. Mariner sees elephants as key strategic resource. He offers 100 gold pieces for calves, 200 gold pieces for cows, and 300 gold pieces for bulls.
There are 10,
Holy shit!
10 cows and 13 calves.
So that's 3,300 gold.
Won't they get pissed off though? Come on, you just tricked the elephants, dude. What the fuck? I guess we don't know that, but whatever.
We have no idea.
But Balthier would care.
I mean, you could have an alliance with them as a beast of burden or a war machine. They'll probably be pretty angry if we start taking their ivory, though.
Yeah.
You think?
Well, what is this? Asked Lord Marinus. What you? I put out a call for an elephant, not. What have you done? Well, how will we feed them?
You were running low on horse cavalry. Now we have even better cavalry.
Well, yes, you're right.
Well,
and
ain't got shit on us.
I mean, it's very good, but how will we feed them? They must eat 1,000 pounds of food a day.
Well, my friends wanted to help us defeat the orc armies, and I'm sure I could help out.
What?
I talked to them, and they despise the orcs just like we do, and I could feed them some good berries from time to time to help out.
I didn't know elephants hated orcs.
Apparently they do. What?
Yes. Resources are limited. They must prey on them from time to time. Well, we'll assure your elephants that we will not prey on them. We won't eat their babies. But they will have to. You will have to feed them. We can't. We don't have the resources. We can't import hay. Do elephants eat hay? I don't know. It will be your responsibility. But this is amazing. Elephant cavalry.
Just
Is that even possible?
just promise me you won't mistreat them. They are my friends. Treat them as you would just treat another person. And Belfier scratches his head and picks out a bug and eats it.
You have my word, he says, a little bit disgusted.
Belfier, I suppose you could stay behind and see after these beautiful creatures, but what?
Oh, yes. I wouldn't mind taking care of them at all.
Well, that's perfect. I shall create a law that anyone who that anyone who hurts an elephant shall suffer the full force of the law as if they had hurt a citizen. These are a valuable ally, and if you are communicating with them, he says a little bit apprehensively, then I've heard that elephants have long memories. I want them to remember that we were good to them.
Be good to them, and I have no doubt that they will remember that you were. What?
Yes, well. Can we afford to pay this? Oh, well, it will be a strain on our treasury, my lord. Do you... I will give you the gold. It's worth every penny, but do you need the gold immediately, or can it... Or should we hold on to it for now?
Well, we can help with that somewhat, and then they hand over the chest of 500 gold. They just...
Wait, for giving that to them?
Wait, no.
What?
Wasn't that the plan?
No.
We'll probably discuss this beforehand. Because are we planning on just keeping that chest then?
Yes.
Yeah, we're keeping the chest. But
it's a Cormyrian chest.
The gold isn't.
We'll give him the chest after we've taken the gold then. Because the gold wasn't Cormyrian.
Do we want to give them the book just so long as we have access to it? What?
Seriously, this kid just gonna up and give away 500 gold for nothing?
He's young, give him time, what? But seriously, should we give them the book just so long as we have access to it, what?
I was actually thinking we keep the book and give them the gold.
Why do we have to give them any of it?
Well, because they can use it better than we can. They have more need for it. I see. What?
It's for the cause. Conrad.
You can give them your portion of the gold for the cause.
Not the gold, but the book. They have the resources and the means to produce weapons and the machines that they need to drive out to the
Yes,
orcs
and
from
if
this
it's of
land.
value, maybe they'll buy it off us.
I sometimes forget you're a merchant. What?
I
Or a
mean,
merchant priest.
we fought for these things. Why would we give them away for free?
Because we're good people. What?
Because it's the right thing to do.
You can be good people without being poor.
We're not poor. What?
If we just give everything away, we will be.
We're not taking about giving everything away. What?
Give an inch, take a mile.
As long as we're taking what?
Yeah, see, you're getting it. Taking, not giving.
We give an inch, but we also take the mile. What?
We're
We give them the small
compensated for the
thing.
work. We're compensated for the work we do.
Yeah, we are compensated for the work we do, and the book and the gold were something we picked up along the way. They weren't part of the job we were tasked with, therefore they belong to us.
Look, if you want to keep your share of the gold, you can go ahead. I did the digging. I'll keep the book.
What is everyone's share of the gold? Are we divvying that up, or are we keeping it in the party gold?
5 gold, 500 gold, 100 gold each. Five people.
So we're divvying that up?
Yes.
Okay.
Some people only have a mind for gold. I can see that.
I still say we give them the book. What? Just so long as we have access to it. What?
I would like to make a copy of the hand cannon schematics though before we give it away.
No worry.
Well, I think.
Takes time, but you can do it.
Yeah, I certainly think we should allow Lord Perrin to study it, but I think we could make great use of this.
Perrin's totally just gonna copy it and then start hawking copies back in Suzale.
Which is perfectly fine.
If you do that,
Master
though, like
Perrin. Master Perrin, the father of the Industrial Revolution.
that's it. Like that. Like I mean, that has some pretty severe consequences. After all, like it'll end up in the hands of Westgate pretty soon after. The hands of the Zentarum immediately after that.
I mean, if they give it to Marinus, that's one thing, but if they give it to the self-serving and greedy elf, he's totally just gonna dip into Suzal with a teleport every now and then after copying it and start selling it.
Excellent.
Marinus is like, yeah, for the good of Gloriana, and Perrin's like, yeah, for the good of me.
Guess it's important that we work out what happens then.
God, he's just getting everything handed to him. I just realized. Pick a spell book. Any spell book. Okay, I'll pick the ones with all the 9th level spells in them. Hey, we got this book on that could like usher in a new age of industrial relevance here.
Like I said
Just realize
earlier,
what we're doing.
Perrin may not necessarily care about Mithranor anymore because he's in a location where he is the most important person in the room, and people are just giving him this shit.
It's like Andrew Carnegie Cornelius Vanderbilt and
It's called it's trickle down academic. Like if you give all this knowledge to the most important, smartest guy in the room, then surely we will all benefit from that knowledge as it trickles down to the lower classes.
And the best bit is, from his point of view, is that because he's an elf, 200 or 300 years from now, when the region is incredibly prosperous, he's going to be like, fuck yes, I'm still the most important person in.
if he's still alive.
I mean, Perrin will live for like 3,000 years because he's the best wizard there ever was. And if you say otherwise, he'll disintegrate you.
All right. So, how much was the elephants? Wait, we're still working on that, aren't we? They're trying to pawn us a payment or something like that.
Yeah, 3,300 gold, but they may not be able to even pay us.
Yeah, so if you want the money, they'll give it to you on account of him, Marinus, holding to his word. But it will basically bankrupt the kingdom.
Conrad wants his share.
Of course.
But they're Balfier's elephant. But even so, like, Balfier's pretty... I'm sure that your Conrad can convince him that they're Conrad's elephants too. But yeah, so let's work out... I guess for simplicity's sake, so that we don't have to remember what we didn't do, they'll just give you 3,300. That's probably, might not be the most realistic in game. It's probably the easiest to keep track of.
Is that just for the elephants?
Yeah, that's right. So 3,300 for the elephants alone.
Do we want to set up a payment system, or do we just want to take the gold outright?
Assume you take it outright, and and then just work out how you're going to split it up.
Okay. So there are 5 of us. How much was it again? I'm sorry.
3,300.
Between 5, it becomes 660 each.
Okay.
You have many marriage proposals over the next few days.
Jesus Christ, we got a total of 768 gold each.
It's a lot of money, for, shit kicker characters like you guys. Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And particularly when this game was, meant to be a kind of, ordinary folk. But then again, it's also a story of ordinary folk who grow in power and influence really fast. So, yeah, it's still within theme. And 1,000 gold won't even buy you a full plate, so it's not all that.
Do
good.
we gain a level?
You did not. You got the level after getting back from the mountain, didn't you? And so far you've gone and gotten the chariot, but that's all you've really done, the chariot and the elephants, so no. I did think about it.
So,
did you take
what to do next?
Did you take everything that the orc had?
Mm-hmm.
What do you do with the spectacles?
The spectacles. I was gonna say, can figure out what those are.
Yeah, I guess you take it to the witch's market, I suppose.
Yeah, because they look like they're dwarven or gnomish craftsmanship.
They'll do a detect magic for 10 gold.
Done.
They detect as I can't think of what type of magic they are. Let's see.
Eyes of the Archmagi.
Something like that. They detect as divination magic. It'll cost another 100 gold pieces to identify.
Fuck, 100 gold for a fucking identify, goddamn.
You have 700.
Precisely. That's what 1/7 of my wealth, man. That's what I mean. That's the problem. Anyway.
I will be buying 10 herbal teas.
Beautiful. Very happy to deal with you.
Yeah, fuck it, I'll get them identified.
They are called spectacles. Put them in the treasure.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, wow.
Oh, shit.
Fuck's
Spectacles.
sake. That book was worth 2,500 gold translated, and you just give it away for free.
The spectacles are worth more, but they are also very useful.
You know what's even more valuable than all the treasure and elephants we traded in?
I didn't.
Is it friendship?
I didn't say give it. I said actually keep the book, actually.
Oh, you
Do you
did?
remember?
Did you?
So far, we've only sold the elephants at this point. Like, that's,
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, if you let parent borrow it, as soon as it gets copied, the value goes down, and you know it's not unique on the marketplace anymore, so it's
That's
not
true.
worth as much, and it
It's not a collected.
devalued.
That's right, man. It's like getting a single gold foil Pikachu Pokemon and then mass producing it. Like your gold foil Pokemon is not worth much anymore. But you're right. What makes this valuable is its uniqueness. You know, the knowledge is valuable. Don't get me wrong, but the fact that it's one of a kind is what makes it unique, by definition, I guess.
If you want to hold on to it, that's fine.
Well, I figure Vicious was extremely interested into it, so I figure he can hold on to it for now. Well, I figure the group can hold on to it in general, but all of us can access it, since it's not really like an attuned thing.
No, and it takes time to use as well. It's, you know, like, yeah, you have
It's
to
a
sit down and
downtime
read
magic
it.
item.
That's right. Yeah, it's a downtime magic item. It's like a base item. Anyway, a lair item. Cool. But yeah, as you asked, Brady, what's next? And that's a good question. You already know the quests that lie ahead of you. You might want to head back into the Stoneland since you're familiar with it. You might prefer to travel out towards the Moonsea Ride for the exact opposite reason. They're the two directions that you've got to go, and in each direction there are multiple quests.
I'm really curious why he had these glasses. Like, more out of character than anything. Actually, no, in character, too.
I mean, just looking at the quest, the Siege of Shepherd Rock does sound like something that'd be a little bit more urgent than the others.
Yeah, true. What? Where is Shepherd Rock?
Down on the eastern side, the eastern Stormhorns, so somewhere like around about here. Maybe somewhere maybe halfway between where we pointed. Yeah, I'll put it. Maybe here.
Sounds like a plan for
While
me.
he's at while he's at the Mitch Market as well, he's going to spring for a potion of invisibility.
Beautiful. They are happy to do business with you. And but when you start spending money, the touts and vendors really start crowding around you and start offering you useless things like dragon bone that is actually boar tusk and a magical paint that is nothing more than ochre mixed with water. But yeah, you're really you're becoming important people, and as a result, everyone wants to leech off you. But you're having a positive contribution on the place, and single-handedly, you're helping the economy and therefore the community grow.
What is the Candle of the Deep?
Candle of the Deep is a candle that cannot be extinguished with liquids.
Oh, cool.
But a stiff breeze could still blow it out.
Yeah, that's right. You can still, and therefore you can still blow it out yourself. But
Okay.
it's a waterproof flame.
Neat.
All right.
All right. So, what preparations will you make before you head out towards Shepherd Hill, if any?
How long will it take to study that book?
Oh, as long as you've got, you could sit down for a year and still learn things a year later.
Oh, but as long as we have it, we have the benefits.
Yeah, but I'll also be assuming that you're not carrying it with you. So, but if you want to carry it with you, that's fine. It's just it might get destroyed. A unique item like this, you get caught in a burning hands, and it's gone forever.
Vicious is gonna go up to the Beth Smith in town, and he's gonna, I guess, show like some of the schematics that he's copied down, and ask him how much is it gonna cost to make these parts.
This gnome is shit. It'll never work. It's a dwarf. Look at this bullshit. A gnome thinks that you can do this. He once told me that you put in some smoky powder here and then a hammer hits it and it fires. Bullshit. Bullshit, I tell you. It wouldn't work that way. You blow your hand up.
Listen here, Mr. Dwarf.
Oh, Mr. Dwarf, is it? I'll have you know I'm a woman.
I'm sorry, it was hard to tell with the beard. What is your name?
Mariah.
Mariah, that is a beautiful name, and I'm sure with your dwarven ingenuity, you could make these parts. In fact, I'm pretty sure you could fucking improve upon these parts, and if you could just shape these metals like I have in these drawings, by the time I get back, I will be gladly appreciated. Plus, I will.
Well, anything a gnome can do, a dwarf can do better. I'll tell you that.
Yes, I agree.
Well, how much are we talking?
Well, how much would it cost to make these parts?
Just an FYI, so you know, Billy, for this, we do have 245 pounds of timber and 151 pounds of scrap metal that we brought back that we haven't dealt with yet. So I don't know if there's anything usable in there.
Plenty. Yeah, all sorts of junk in there. It's like a bits box. You pull out a brass screw and a copper knob, and this wooden stock could be a handle. It's a great point. I hadn't thought of it myself, but that's exactly what this junk pile is. It's a little bit of everything.
Well, if I
Just because.
provide
Go ahead.
the materials, can I get a discount if you could just make the pots, and then I can put it together myself?
Well, look at. I don't want to rip you off, but I don't think I can do this for less than 200 or 300 gold. This is a prototype we're trying to build here.
That's fine, Maria, and I give her 300 gold.
You're serious then? Well, look, I'll get right to work then. What did you say your name was again?
You can call me Vicious.
Vicious. Well, I'll call you Vicious when I'm done with this then, won't you? Ha ha ha. It's a joke on account of it. Never mind. I'll get to work right away.
And Vicious will slightly raise his mask and kiss the dwarf's hand and say thank you, milady.
She blushes underneath that beard. Yes. What are you looking at? She says to some dwarves who are snickering over in the corner. She storms into the workshop with the book underneath her arm.
Once I'm out of sight, I will kind of spit and then and yeah, just get back to the group.
Alright. Any preparations that are required? I guess not.
So any of that, like timber and scrap metal, can we just sell that stuff? Are there people that are willing to like buy that stuff?
Yeah.
Building material?
That's right. Yeah, for the price that's allocated, like a gold piece each. Freddie wants this for his chicken coop, and Mariette wants this for her sewing kit. Yeah, like little bits and pieces. You could sell it all, and
yeah, that's what I saw here. That was for a gold piece per pound. That's what I was like, oh, because that's a couple hundred more gold right there.
Yeah, and now you're really contributing to the economy. Like when you bought Lone Potions, you made a few witches rich for life, or at least for a year. But when you start selling or like this bits of wood, and each farmer gives you half or a quarter or a tenth of his life savings. He's making an investment in his life, in his community, when he buys a couple of pounds of wood and steel from you, and with this he's going to build a pig pen, and with that pig pen he's going to sell pigs, and so yeah, you're building Gloriana with these little transactions, 1 gold piece at a time, and you made yourself a tidy profit in the process.
What about the lion?
The lion. 50 gold pieces for the pelt. 5 gold pieces for the meat, because no one really wants lion meat. And each tooth is worth probably. You could either sell the skull for 25 or each fang for 10. But you'd have to fix the skull first, because it's one of the tooths. So yeah. 50, 10, or is it 5? I can't remember anyway. Let's say 10. 50, 10, and then 25. 85 gold. A guy called Rumblebelly wants to buy the skull. He's a fat halfling, and he talks with a really deep and scratchy voice. Hey, where'd you get this from?
The Hunter's Hills. What?
You kill it yourself?
Me and some friends. What?
Well, dangerous out there, the Stonelands. Good luck.
What? No problem. What?
Puts it on his bar. A smoky, sultry bar. Rumblebelly runs the the seediest bar in town. There's only three places to drink. There's a dwarf whiskey house, an elven wine bar, and then there's Rumble Belly's Den. And yeah, it's the glasses aren't clean and the alcohol's watered down. And Rumble Belly's got a rumor that a rumor for violence. Basically, he doesn't need security because he'll just kill you. Alright, so we're rich.
So we each get another 96 gold too. So
Do we want to split that? Do we want to split that up, or do we want to lump it into the party goal?
we can do that. It's up to you guys.
Just throw it in the party goal on. Yeah, Arctic, I just bought a whole bunch of random shit.
Excellent.
Yeah.
No problems at all. I know you know, not 100%.
All right. Any other preparations that people want to make before we head to wherever it is? Shepherd's what?
Yeah, one thing. So it's really fucking cold and in Snowlands, right? Is there anything like that would be sold from any shops, whether in the witches, whatever, or another shop that would help us with that?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can get some furs and some winter clothing for 15 gold pieces, and that'll give you advantage on all of your all of those sort of endurance checks and that. Or you can just buy a cup of hot tea for a gold piece a day and just brew that every day, and that'll keep you, hopefully, keep you warm and stave off the worst of the chill.
I'll buy like 30 days worth of tea. 30 days. 30 days worth of tea, and then also buy furs. How much are the furs?
15 gold, yeah. For the 15 gold for the most basic ones, they look bad. 50 gold for nice ones that are very stylish and stand out.
I'm gonna spend 50 gold on a pelt coat because it's very fashionable this season.
It looks beautiful. Do you want mink? Do you want white wolf? Do you want sun bear? What are you thinking?
Oh, I'm taking the white wolf.
Beautiful. It's smashing. It doesn't get dirty either. It's amazing how clean it stays despite being white.
Kursk will buy a cheap one.
Of course. It's like rabbit fur, but it does the trick.
God damn it. Yep, I'm gonna buy some basic stuff as well.
Excellent. Just a regular cloth cloak lined with rabbit skins on the inside.
Yeah, and I'm also just like going through the PHB and just buying some simple adventuring gear.
Yeah, no worry.
I didn't feel that I had to like tell you every single minute thing that I'm buying.
No, you don't. And Griffin Hill has most things. You're buying them out, so like the general store is beginning to run low on things, and there hasn't been a merchant come through here in a while. But if you build them, they will come, and hopefully by stimulating the economy, that word's going to get out that merchants, that there's a reason to come up here. And if they don't, well, I guess that's a perfect thing for Conrad to exploit personally, if no one else to do it.
Trickles down economics.
Yeah, I was gonna say Conrad's considering using his gold to set up a merchant stall of his own.
All right, well,
goods at exorbitant prices.
Is that still in the planning stage, or is that something that you are able to somehow at least get started before you head out? for this next job?
He probably needs a few more days to kind of assess what goods are in demand, what goods are supplied. He also wants to write back to the temple, see if he can get an assistant sent out to actually man the stall when he's out.
How do you send the letter? There's merchants are normally the postal service.
Ooh, I haven't thought that far ahead yet.
Yeah, it's an easy thing to overlook, isn't it? You know,
He'll put that letter on top of the stack of ones about how the Lord's incompetent and corrupt and how he lets his woman make the decisions for him, and he'll just send them all off at once when he figures it out.
Okay.
Oh god. The temple is just gonna be like, what the fuck? When they get the stack of letters.
Yeah, that's right. And then the neutral evil members of the temple will be like, okay guys, let's act fast. This is our chance to make it big. We'll be the big players if we can get in there, right?
Get in on the ground floor.
Exactly. Alright.
Alright, so I guess we're heading out to Shepherd's Rock to deal with some orcs.
Beautiful. Okay. So, the storms have still been pretty intense recently. You saw them crash into the storm horns recently, and the rain hasn't really abated much since then. So it's cold and it's wet. There's a fair bit of water flowing through creek beds that are often dry. But the rainfall isn't all that heavy. It's mostly an electrical windstorm. You're getting rained on at inconvenient times, torrential downpours in the middle of the day and the middle of the night. But it's not the constant slog of going through knee-deep mud. The ground is fairly dry, in spite of the continuing and raging storms. Now, Shepherd Rock is a village perched on a cliff ledge up in the eastern storm lawns. So getting up there is going to be a bit of an ordeal. The obvious trail would be to take the merchant trail. That's how they bring their wool down and how they take the supplies that they need back up there. But given that they're under siege, you can anticipate that there will be a resistance if you choose to go that way. Is that what you're going to do, or do you want to devise an alternative?
Well, I did get a climbing kit among the crap that I bought.
If you climb, it'll be a similar situation to what it was on Mount Rorschrona, where you've basically got these 20, 30, 40-foot escarpments between cliff beds and banks. You won't have to do a single 100-foot climb, but in order to get the 1,000 feet up, which is Shepherd Rock is high up in the mountain, in order to get up there, you're going to have to go up, multiple of these minor but dangerous escarpments.
I feel far safer doing that now that I have an actual climber's kit.
Good point.
It was different when all I had was a rope.
So what you could do is climb up with your climbing kit and then throw down some hip and rope to help us climb up. And then we could keep doing that all the way.
We also have a block and tackle. I wanted to try to do things that way. Although that really wouldn't work here, I don't think.
It would help if you need to get something heavy up, like a mule or something.
Yep. We're not trying to lift anything that heavy at this point.
Nah.
Oh, that's another good question. Did we get anything for bringing the chariot back?
He doesn't know what to do with the chariot, but he's trying to work with Balfier to get it connected to the elephants. He doesn't know what to offer, but how about 100 gold? He knows it's worth more than that, but what are you going to do?
I mean, I'm not the one negotiating for that, but
Probably
Some
Conrad.
gold's better than no gold.
Mm.
I say we just donate it for the good of Gloriana.
yeah, I'm perfectly fine with that.
Alright.
Vicious,
No.
are you hoping to wake up with Conrad's rapier between your ribs one of these nights?
Vicious just wants to get on Marinus's good side, so he eventually hands over the whereabouts of the person he's hunting.
Fucking
Hey.
You gonna tell me where Hisoka is yet?
Playing the long game.
Hey, buddy.
that cross-dressing elf.
How cruel of you to target a cross-dressing elf merely for slaying your family. Alright. So that sounds like a plan then. We're going to go the hard way. You won't be climbing the whole way. A lot of it's goat tracks. Mountain goats are able to obviously walk along really narrow and treacherous paths, and it's these paths that you'll be taking. Okay. I guess we should start with a survival check to see if like you've got to pick your escarpment, you've got to pick your path. There's a mile-wide section of mountain which we could choose, a 10-mile wide if you really. And so, like, picking the best path from the ground is maybe the most important step of all. Who's going to be in charge of picking the goat track that we take?
Who has the better survival check?
With Balfir gone, I think you and I have the same. So,
You have a
do you
2?
wanna? Yeah. Do you wanna? One of us can help the other. As
Sure, you can help me.
it makes sense. It makes sense that we would look together to try to identify the best
Yeah.
route up.
Cool.
Alright, so Braxton's
yeah.
helping me.
Yeah, that's right. So, Kursk, you have the responsibility here now, and while Braxton will be doing the climbing, like, right now, you're consciously aware that if you pick the wrong path, he'll be the one paying the price. So this is a bigger responsibility for you. But you're confident. What is it about the path you've chosen that you think will get him 1,000 feet into the air safely?
There doesn't seem to be any sort of wind erosion. Nothing jagged. But, yeah, it looks sturdy, I guess.
Ooh.
And maybe not like not too trodden, but enough to where you know that people have gone up it and come down and it's stable enough.
Okay,
Or near
cool.
it.
So it's sheltered from the worst of the weather, and therefore the sudden squalls are unlikely to blow you off or knock away great chunks of rock. But one thing that you did notice, and one reason why you chose it, is because there's evidence that people use this, not just goats, but people use this occasionally. You spot a few fireside camps that don't look like they've been used since before winter, some 4 months ago. But yeah, sometime during the last year or two, people have been here. So if it's good enough for them, then yeah. All right. So what's going to be your process, Braxton? We've got our path now. We know basically what it looks like, and yeah, you want to spell out your process?
So yeah, he'll set up with his climbing gear and check everything, make sure it's all good. And how many of us have actual rope between?
I have 50 feet of hempen rope from my explorer's pack.
So he'll probably grab like grab rope from other people as well, and sort of kind of, I don't know how far it is up some of.
Yeah, about 40 feet is about the highest, so it's not going to be worse than that.
Okay, so one length of rope will be fine. So that's all I needed to know.
Excellent.
Whether or not I needed to like tie two of them together at any one.
Yeah, it depends on how you're doing it, but if you're only going basically ledge by ledge, like you get up one ledge, throw them down, get them up to that, pick the next path, do it. If you just do it like that, then 50 foot of rope should do it each time. So yeah, make a climbing check.
I'll have you know, I'm not a big fan of this climbing idea.
Alright. Do I get any benefit from the climbing gear, or will that just affect the DC?
I think it just affects the DC, yeah. I think that's how it works, but
Nope,
if
that's
there's
fine.
proper rules for it, then I'm happy to use the proper rules.
No, that's fine. It's like it's really, I think, up to you sometimes.
Yeah, okay, cool.
Yeah, you can use the climber's kit as an action to anchor yourself. When you do, you can't fall more than 25 feet from the point where you anchored your.
Okay, so that's what it'll do, is it won't even change the DC, but it'll just minimize the damage to 2d6 at most.
Yeah, and you can't climb more than 25 feet from the point where you anchored yourself without undoing the anchor. So yeah, you gotta. I mean, you anchor yourself as you go up,
Oh, yeah.
which kind of makes sense.
Yeah, cool.
All right.
Yeah, beautiful. You scramble up there. You've chosen a great path, and you get up to the first ledge with relative ease, and you're then able to set it up for everyone else with a rope. Is there anyone who? I know there probably is, but is there anyone who can't make a DC 5 athletics check automatically?
Yeah.
Then everyone who can't has to make the check. But as long as you can get DC 5 automatically, then the check is superfluous. Alright. Kick.
I use inspiration.
Go ahead.
I don't want
Sex.
a repeat of last session.
It's hilarious.
Literally the first one, which is
Literally a repeat
barely.
of last session.
You barely make it. Like, you almost fuck up, and then you barely make it. So what's the process? You're only going up like a 40-foot ledge. Tell us how it's almost a disaster, but not quite.
Conrad's just bitching and moaning the whole way. Like, I fucking object to this idea. This did not go well last time. Nearly slipped 3 or 4 times. I told you this was a fucking terrible idea.
Be
Time
quiet.
gets up.
What's the auctioneer? What?
He's got bleeding shins and bleeding palms and just really upset. And speaking of orcs, make a survival roll. Or perception. But, yeah. Alright. So what you smell something on the wind, Braxton. Campfire smoke. It's distant and you don't see the smoke, but you get a whiff of it, and it's distinct. It's not a bushfire. It's definitely, something cooking. Kursk, on the other hand, you're looking around and there are footprints here, and it looks like where some of the handholds are. Some long, greasy hair has been caught in the rocks and torn. These footprints are too big for orcs. They're like 15 inches long and about 7 inches wide. 5 toes, big, flat, fat feet. And yeah, the hair is greasy but strong, like an oily rope. You don't hear
Could
anything.
I-
Just smell a bit of food.
I can't infer what it was by this.
Might be a history check or something, but you can certainly have a guess. You know, an educated guess. If you say some guesses, I can tell you the parameters are accurate.
Ogre,
Sure.
hill giant.
Too small for a giant.
He's not really familiar with mountainous creatures, so
Hmm.
ogre probably seems the most probable to him, I guess. Troll?
Possibly.
I don't know.
The dimensions are, the size is right. You're no expert, but yeah, it could be.
Yeah, he's thinking ogre or troll.
So it looks like whoever left their hair and their footprints behind uses this track that you use. Not recently, but occasionally.
There's something up here, but what? There is something that uses this trail, at least. What? Everyone be careful. What?
Are you going up the next ledge?
Yep.
All right. Are you disadvantaging yourself in any way by trying to use stealth, or are you, more interested in getting to the top?
Conrad is not quiet one bit.
No worries. We won't have to worry about Conrad at the moment. But yeah, so Braxton, are you using your, driving pittons into stone makes noise, right? To do that quietly it probably means that you're not going to drive them in as deep or as hard as you should. So if you opt for stealth, it may compromise your ability to climb. Of course, if you don't use stealth, the ramifications could be dire as well. So what are you going to do?
Well, what he's going to do is actually, damn it, take his normal clothes, because he's currently wearing his cold weather clothes.
Yeah.
And as he's going up, he's going to tear off pieces of his normal, wrap the front of each python in this as
Sure.
he's pressing it against the stone. So as he's smashing it in, it actually muffles and absorbs a lot of that sound.
Excellent idea. All right. So I guess
And then it can still get anchored in.
yeah. So I guess that means that you're doing a stealth roll. So yeah, go ahead. And it's remarkably effective. And once you've driven the pittons through the cloth more or less tears. So they can't pop out the pythons with any great ease anyway. You've done an excellent job. And let's see how your climbing check goes, your athletics. Okay. But that's not so good on the climb.
I was going to say I'll use my inspiration on.
All right, you've got your climbing boots on, and your boot slips, but you get your footing. A few rocks tumble down on Conrad below, and some rocks fall on his head. You make it to the top, Brax.
Alrighty.
Do we need to roll to climb up?
Like only if you have a DC of 5 or less. Only if you can get a 5.
My athletics says 4 next to it, so should I roll?
No, you're
With a
fine. 'cause
natural
even-
1, you're 5.
Yeah, even with a 1, you still get 5, so you'll be fine.
Conrad.
I'm just gonna go and cry in the corner now.
Alright. Thanks for-
What would it do if I tried to carry him up on my back? Well,
It's too late for that. I made the roll.
That's he takes 5 points of damage as he crashes down onto the ground. And yeah, what do you do, Kirst? As he hits the ground bleeding?
what would it do to my roll if I tried to carry him up on my back?
Depends if it encumbers you or not.
How much does he? It probably does.
And it'll be disadvantage.
Alright, Conrad, hang on. And I'll carry him up. I'll try to, at least.
No worries. Jane, make a nature check.
Oh my god.
You're sniffing something that smells delicious, Jane. Like some wild plant with dark leaves. It smells so familiar. You can't tell what it is. You crush it up a little bit and have a sniff, and it reminds you of your grandmother, and it reminds you of the kitchen table. It's so familiar, but you can't place it, probably because somebody has just landed on you. Jane takes 7 points of damage, as Brotor takes 2 and Conrad takes 6, and all of you just come crashing down on one.
You all cushioned my fall. You all cushioned my fall.
Exactly right. You fell backwards so that you landed on Conrad, and he became a sandwich between Jane and yourself.
And Braxton is just looking over the edge at this and just shaking his head.
Conrad's just gonna lie there. Nah, I'm done. I give up.
I mean,
Alright, Conrad,
Jane-
come on.
Jane already made her roll. She rolled an 18 on her athletics to climb up.
Excellent. So Jane, when you recover, you're able to show him how it's done if you want. You can just scramble straight up.
Alright, Conrad, hang on. I'll get it
If
this
you
time.
do that again, I will stab you.
Beautiful. By the time you make it up there, Vicious and Braxton, you've had a bit of time to look around the area for Jane. And make a nature checks, both of you. So there is bushel after bushel here. Vicious doesn't understand it, but he doesn't have a green thumb. But Braxton, there is bushel after bushel here of tea, of black tea. It seems to be growing wild and strong up here in these mountain crevices.
Yeah, Braxton will grab some of it and probably wrap it up in what remains of his shirt.
Sure.
What he hasn't already used for the bits to muffle the climbing pythons, and
No worries. You're able to collect a pound of tea leaves. There's heaps of it here, and so you just rip up leaf after leaf, and by the time these guys have finally collected themselves and gotten themselves up to where you are, you collected up a pound of wild tea. And Jane, the smell that you smelt so strong, that was so reminiscent of your childhood, it's really strong up here, and Braxton seems to be gathering the herd.
May I have some, please?
he hands over a leaf. It's good tea.
I'm gonna wrap it heard.
Now that you're all collected, and you've got just another couple of ledges to go. You're probably about a third of the way up this the side of the mountains. You can see that that the path that you're leading along has many more of these little bushels. It's almost as if they've been put here deliberately.
Maybe we shouldn't take any more of this. What about?
Well, if it's just regular tea, I don't see the harm in it. It might be from.
Or someone put it here purposefully. What? It looks like someone put it here purposely. What?
Maybe it was the villages.
Sort of looks like it's been planted. Yeah. There comes a scream from above. The ledge that you're going to go up next, another 30, 40 foot tall ledge. From somewhere beyond that, maybe 80 feet distant, 100 feet distant, roughly, it's a scream. It's more like a wail than a scream. It's prolonged and it starts quiet and it reaches a crescendo like...
Like a child scream?
Like a child with a really deep and brutal voice.
Uh-oh.
I try to find like a little cover, like a little jut in the rock where nothing can be thrown down.
No worry.
Conrad also tries to hide.
I will
Excellent.
rush up
This is my spot. This is my spot, and I shove him back.
Vicious will rush up to the damsel or man or whatever gender
Alright.
in distress.
You'll have to climb up a 40-foot escarpment to do so, and there's no climbing pittons put in place, but you can definitely do it if you want. It hasn't been a challenge so far. Would you like to try?
Yes.
Alright, go ahead. Okay,
So
you
that's
make
what
it
is.
up.
Let's get up there.
That's it. So you get up this 40-foot cliff. It takes you, about a minute or a bit less. And you manage to get up this escarpment, handholds on ledges and in crevices. You go past that oily hair that was torn out of by someone who came through here several months ago. And so Vicious is making his way up to the top. But anyone else? The rest of you just hiding?
Braxton is going to make his way up as well.
All right. Athletics.
Yeah, since nothing's coming down yet, I guess Kursk will follow up the same way that Vicious.
No worries. Because Braxton's following, I guess the same speed, that means you're not driving the climbing pins in. You're scrambling like he is. Is that correct?
Yeah, I'm not going to be driving them in right now.
All right. Without
inspiration.
No worries, because without the climbing pins in, this is a 40-foot drop, not a 20-foot drop. But some of the rocks break away in your hand, Krusk, and you nearly lose grip. But then you, with a grunt, you make it up. So the three of you are now on a lip. Okay, this lip is about 20 feet wide. It varies between 25 and 10 feet wide. This lip is about 20 feet wide, and if you follow the ledge around, imagine like a terrace. If you follow this terraced ledge around, there's wild tea all over the place here. If you follow this ledge terrace around, it leads to a cave. The cave is quite tall, about 12 feet wide, and almost just as tall as it is wide. And from that, you can hear that terrible sound coming from screaming. And it doesn't sound like it's abating. In fact, it's getting louder and worse. But it also doesn't sound like it's causing any secondary effects. And what I mean by that is, when a human baby screams, the father usually yells at the mother to get up, and the mother goes up and gets up and puts the baby to breast. You don't hear any of that in this instance. Just wail.
Is it getting closer though?
No, just louder, but not closer. More determined, but not close.
Is the cave shallow enough to where we can see any kind of outline of what it could be?
At this point, you're still simply on a ledge, and you're probably going to have to walk along a ledge about another 60 or 100 feet in order to reach that cave mouth. So from this angle, you can't tell how deep it is, but it sounds like it's deep. It sounds like the voice is echoing and reverberating from within the cave rather than at its mouth.
Alright, so from here, Braxton will start, like, trying to at least, like, anchor the rope, let it down for the others to at least help them up if they want to get up here.
Some campfire smoke is also coming out of that cave. It's steady and grey. All right, so the rope has been tossed down. The DC is now 5 for those of you who wish to attempt. Gain's good.
Come on, Conrad.
Sitting at the bottom.
Conrad is not moving. He is considering whether there is any point in him adventuring anymore because he is almost dead.
Conrad does not like hills.
Should not have come to the Stonelands.
He's a merchant, not some kind of rock climber.
Where do you think the best rocks are found?
Will you remain on this ledge?
He's going to start thinking about going back down because they're smaller climbs and he has his own rope.
They are smaller climbs. You are correct. Like if you fall going down, it's probably not going to kill you. If you fall off that ledge, it probably will.
Don't tell me you're scared of heights, what?
We're 40 feet away. We have no idea he's having this debate.
Yeah, no.
Vicious will look down to Conrad, just kind of wave with his hand.
But yeah, after lowering that down, I guess Braxton will start heading towards the mouth of that cave.
Okay.
Chris will follow him.
Excellent. You can both make stealth rolls.
Oh boy. Disadvantage for me. Not bad though.
Not very good. You make it to the edge of the cave, the pair of you, and by the time you do, the smell on the smoke is quite strong. There's burning meat, there's brewing tea, and there's something else which might be familiar to you or it might not. It's you'll soon see what it is. Anyway, so there's this chemical smell coming from in there, but a cook fire chemical smell rather than something alchemical. You reach the edge of the cave. The smoke is not very thick. The screaming is loud and it's still going. You can. One of the first things that you notice is a small ogre. This ogre isn't screaming. Someone else is screaming behind it. You can't see who yet. But there's a small ogre around about 5-6 feet tall, and they're kind of fat. And they're sitting on the bare stone, and they have a centipede in their arms. This centipede's about 2 or 3 feet long, and it's already ripped the head off the centipede, and now it's ripping off the legs one by one. And each time it does so, it laughs. Rip, rip, and the centipede keeps wriggling even though it has no head. While the adolescent or the ogre juvenile continues this activity. You can hear the sound of activity deeper within the cave, in addition to the scream of the infant.
It seems we've stumbled upon an ogre family. What?
That's kind of horrifying.
What, the fact that they have a family, or the fact that he's ripping off that centipede's legs? What?
Yes.
The obese mother wanders out, still ignoring the screaming infant, and she has in her hands a big clay bowl that seems to have hot tea. She flumps herself down against the edge of the cave on some old rotten bear skins, blows on the bowl, and then begins to drink deeply of the scalding liquid. She seems to relax greatly as she imbibes this tea. She has another deep draught. The baby keeps screaming, child keeps torturing, and the mother just zones out as she drinks it.
We should get rid of them.
Should we? But what? How exactly are you planning on doing that? But what?
The little one shouldn't be too much trouble.
And Vicious sees Conrad fall on his face.
My God.
Dude, I think that's just death. Like, I think,
Oh
like,
my god.
are you dead?
Well, he's unconscious and tumbling down the hill, so because that was to go down, not up.
We hear a Wilhelm scream.
Like, I mean,
Does he fall all the way down? Like to the base?
he'd roll down he'd just roll to the 20-foot ledge, and yeah, with a double zero, yeah, he would. He keeps rolling. He keeps rolling.
So
He's
Vicious is up there waving at Conrad. He sees Conrad turn around like, nah, I'm going home, and then just doof, 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 doof.
I know exactly what this reminds me of. I'm gonna find
I
it.
was just... You know what it reminds me of?
Yeah?
Geralt.
Poor guy.
It happened to me at level 0, though.
Yeah, that was hilarious when it happened to you.
So is this like an 80-foot drop or a 40-foot drop? Or
No matter
Two
what it
20s.
is, he's dead. I was on 1 hit point when I went down.
Oh,
Yeah, he said we were...
God, I almost crushed you to death.
Yeah.
Yeah, he said we were a third of the way up 1,000-foot cliff.
Not 1,000 foot, no.
Yeah, he said it was
enough.
Yeah, he said
Yeah,
it
it
was
is.
1,000 feet all the way up this entire thing, and
Yeah.
we were roughly about a third of the...
So it's only like the couple. There's only a couple of escarpments. There's only 2 or 3 major escarpments. The rest of it's just goat track. But you fall off one of the major escarpments, hit, roll, fall off a major escarpment, hit, roll, bam. You come to a rest at the bottom of the mountain.
He's dead.
That was.
You don't have to worry about any more scheming merchants anymore. What?
Welcome to low level.
Yeah, that's should we leave it there for the week?
Yeah.
as we.
About to ambush a ogre family and just lost our first compatriot.
Yeah, that's right. You're about to go. Okay, roll for initiative. Oh fuck! Our fucking healer's dead.
Rogue. But
This is a rogue.
You don't have a. Honestly, I don't think we should be fighting.
Weren't you a priest?
We're probably all gonna die.
He was a
priest,
background-
he was a rogue.
background.
Oh, you were a
He's
pretend priest the whole time.
A priest, not a cleric.
Oh, nicely done. Well done. Ah, lay sigh.
That was fucking double zeros.
Double zero, yeah, like that's literally impossible to roll. You can't roll a single zero, let alone two of them. You can't do that. D20s don't have zeros.